everybody. This is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with our first live stream as an affiliate here on Twitch. As a friendly reminder, if you like lightning bolt based content in Modern, please consider subscribing to the channel here on YouTube and giving us a follow over on Twitch. And that said, time to get back to the basics with day number 8 of Modern Midnight streaming. By back to the basics, we're going back to Boros Burn. No frills, no thrills. We're just playing the basics of Burn, other than we happen to have a Lurrus in the sideboard. So, last several Burn lists I've played mostly have been centered around Incinerator, and while I still think Incinerator is extremely good, I wanted to try out a more basic version of the deck right now without any of the additional frills that you have with playing Chandra's Incinerator. So to that end, we're playing a 19 land deck with access to all the goodies: Searing Blaze, Boros Charm, Lightning Helix. It's been a while since I've played a deck with both Lightning Helix and Skullcrack in the main. Beyond that, you're up to 4 copies of Searing Blaze, which we'll see how that performs. Only running 3 copies of Skewer the Critics, 4 Rift Bolts tonight, and we're really not playing a ton of Lurrus fodder. Obviously we have the creatures, and then in the sideboard we have Relics of Progenitus that we can rebuy potentially. I guess no, we can't because they exile itself. Never mind. As far as the sideboard goes, very basic sideboard, 3 Path to Exile for the big dumb idiots. Tarmogoyfs, Death Shadows, Urgos potentially. 3 Relic of Progenitus. Seems a little weird, but when you're playing Lurrus, you don't necessarily want to be playing Rest in Peace in some spots. And Relic is a value card that you're willing to bring in against things like Snow Control and such. 4 copies of Core Firewalker in the list that I looked at. This might be too many, but if we have one of those leagues where we run into 3 red decks, we'll be very happy for it. The 4th copy of Skullcrack, because never leave home without your life gain prevention, and then 3 copies of Smash to Smithereens, primarily because Chalice of the Void is a thing in Eldrazi Tron, and you must be prepared for it. Hey Endo, thanks for the subscribe, I greatly appreciate that. We finally hit our affiliate link. So that said, let us get into a league. I want to thank everybody once again for all the support getting to affiliate here, as well as the 1,500 subscribers over on the YouTube channel. So going back to the basics tonight, we're doing some Boros Burn, see how that plays out. Been a while since I played a Burn league of any type without access to any type of Incinerator. This can't keep his hands a 4-lander, unfortunately, so we're going to have to mulligan right off the bat. This hand's less exciting, especially on the draw, but I still think it's a keep. Putting back, what is the question? I think we put back the fetch land since we don't have whatchamacallit going on here. So we're immediately up against Dredge. Shock this in, plan on bolting either face or whatever here. It's got a Narcomoeba. Okay, well, I mean, at least we should be thankful they didn't hit Dredgers, right? Excuse me. Excuse me, a leash. These, this Eidolon might be basically useless. Um... So, almost anything we do this turn is going to be very subpar / not good. We could potentially hold up Skullcrack in case they, like, hit a conflag, or not conflag, hit a Dredger on their last activation of Shriekhorn. We could play Eidolon, which is going to cost us a damage. And probably die to this Conflagrate, or they'll just ignore it and all of our spells are going to deal us damage. Or we can take advantage of this landfall and Searing Blaze one of these Narcomoebas. I don't really like any of the options, but I think if given the choice, I think we Searing Blaze, take some of their pressure off the board, and just kind of count this Eidolon as a dead card, pretty much. And then some way hope they don't hit any Creeping Chills or anything, and pray they're not on the Smiting Helix version. Oh, there's Creeping Chills, so we lose the game. And I get to Dredge the Stinkweed Imp. Continue playing to see if they are on the... Confluence might indicate that they're on the Smiting Helix version. Okay, they're on the Smiting Helix version. So I'm going to go ahead and concede, because we can't win this game no matter what we do, pretty much. This is already a mediocre draw on the draw, and then to get paired in a fairly bad matchup. So I think I might just bring these 4 in, go down the Eidolons. I mean, yeah, you can bring in Path, but the problem with Path is, like, you're ramping them, giving them more lands. In the past, I've been a big proponent of Path in a lot of these style of matchups, but I just don't think it's that good anymore. I just honestly don't. Guess I'd like to play first. This hand is a trap hand, especially on the play. Like, Goblin God and Swiftspear are fine. And if for some reason our opponent kept a slow hand, it could be okay. I'm almost talking myself into keeping this hand just because 2, 4, 5. Like, we only have relics to draw to, and I'm not sure that's really good enough to mulligan here. I think we'll keep it, but this hand is definitely borderline because of the 1 land part of it. Let's go on Narcomoeba on top. I'm going to say they can't. Yeah, they have to draw that, so... Let's see if our opponent just gets a basic mountain. They do. Shriekhorn. Smiting Helix, bad for the home team. Especially if they have a, not target anything. Yep. Okie dokie. Yep. I get Silver Smoot Golem back. Ghoul. So we got a Golem. Ghoul. I guess we should be thankful that they have neither hit a Dredger nor... wow. Goblin Guide, you betrayed us, my friend. Alright, let me just mill 2 more lands. So maybe we'll be lucky and they don't have another additional way to get things in the graveyard. Okay, well, that's one way to get things in the graveyard, I suppose. Nothing block. Thing can indeed block. I think we just hold up Skullcrack here. Okay. So going to 10 here. Positive note, if we rip a mana source, they're just dead. On a negative note, we could do something like that and have kind of a questionable line to us. Just think we hold up Skullcrack here and just pray we don't die, pretty much. Really wish it told us what they... Smiting Helix. How about if I Skullcrack you? Alright, nice to take that game at least. Now we gotta win one on the draw. As the terrible line once said, may the odds ever be in your favor. I don't know if the odds are in our favor this time, chat. Could get cheeky and board in Smash because they've been really reliant on whatchamacallit, but especially on the draw, they're going to get at least 2 activations out of it. So that might be a little too cheeky. And then beyond that, once again, Path Exile serves a purpose, but I don't know that it's great. I think I'd rather just have the damage spells. Hope our opponent has a less than functional draw again. Well, this is a 1-lander, but we do have a relic, so I do think we have to keep it. Not exciting. I think we have to lead on Swift Spear here. Like, the Relic's not going to do a whole lot this turn anyway. Even if they have a Cathartic or something, we'll just... or I guess they have a Lava Axe. Nope, no Lava Axe either. Okay. So this is a Cathartic. Yep. It's going to be a lot of cards. So what you're saying is our opponent double Lightning Helixed us and put 4 power into play on turn 2. Seems... oh no. Put 7 power in play. Okay. I think we can win. Relic is definitely not the best here. We're just dead next turn, aren't we? 3, 6, 7... yeah, I just left us dead. Seems legit dying on turn 3. Can flag us for 4. Okie dokie. Okie. Back for match number 2. We're on the play here. Lurrus. Once again, this hand's kind of mediocre with no 1-drop. Still think it's a keep, but especially on the play. But this hand is definitely mediocre. So there's a couple of things here. I can play Scalding Tarn on 1 and fetch a tap land if we don't need to bolt something. Or alternatively, I can lead on Inspiring Vantage and try to hold the Scalding Tarn, like hope to hit another land drop, and then use the Scalding Tarn to trigger Searing Blaze. I'm just going to lead on Inspiring Vantage and pass the turn. So we're up against a Delver strategy. Okay. So we're definitely bolting that. This is a little awkward, but once again, because of the Searing Blaze, we want to leave the fetch land around. So although we are taking an extra point of damage or 2 deploying that, Temur Delver, or is this like this Hooting Mandrills? Alright, so we're just going to... do you have Force of Negation? Looks like the answer is no. The answer is the Daily Double. Doodle 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 doodle. Seems like our opponent doesn't have an answer here. Just going to suspend the Rift Bolt. And pass the turn. I'm going to go ahead and Boros Charm pre-combat. That way if they want to force some negation this, they have to take 2 damage at least. And we can just leave our creatures back. Now they're just dead. Alright. Temur Delver. Let's see. Delver. Oh, come on. Delver of Secrets. Modern. Filter. Alright. Temur Delver. Stormwing Entity? Don't think that's the version we're playing against here. Nope. Looks like our opponent's playing a bit of a brew. Probably want the Paz because of the Tarmogoyfs. But beyond that, we're kind of operating a bit in the dark, unfortunately. Like what our opponent is running. Could want the relics because of the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Feels like we might be overboarding here. Down the Boros Charms. Copy a Skullcrack and a copy a Skewer. 4, 8, 12, 14, 17, 21, 23 direct damage spells. Yeah, that's probably enough. Again, the relic adds a different dimension than I'm used to in Burn, so that is an adjustment for this list. This is why I'm a huge fan of 20 land decks instead of these 19 land decks, because we are getting a lot of these one land hands. I still think we keep this one, but it's definitely noteworthy. Missions, sure. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everyone is well. We played a tap land, and as I feared, we have not drawn our second land, so hopefully we do not trigger a land here. Metamorphose. So with Metamorphose, I'm guessing they're on the Stormwing Entity build. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Alright. Morphos and the Storming Entity. Yep. I think you'd crack your fetch first, but, you know, what do I know, right? This is actually a difficult turn. So there are several lines we could take. We could play Goblin Guide, suspend Riftbolt, pass. Play Goblin Guide, Swiftspear, attacking for 3. We could Eidolon and pass. I honestly don't know what the correct line is here. I'm definitely glad we brought in the Path Exiles, though. The problem with Eidolon is we're not really ahead on board, but our opponent is definitely incentivized to play spells next turn, so I think I'm going to go with that, because I think they really need to kill the Eidolon. And they haven't shown the ability to kill a creature yet, so put it in a really weird spot, not cracking that fetch before they Storming Entitied. Seems like the less than ideal play to make. I'm just going to suspend the Riftbolt, force them to take game actions that play into taking damage off Eidolon. Just really feels like they're weak to creatures here. Sure. Okay. Going after Goblin Guide? Sure. Go to 9 here. Do you play post-combat that I care about? seems subpar. That, however, seems very, very good. So it looks like their creature base is Delver, Tarmogoyf, Stormwing Entity, and Dreadhorde Arcanist. I feel like I can go down one relic, especially on the play. Still like all these spells. They're only supposed to have 3 Skullcracks in. I don't even know how many Weather the Storms they actually have. Another one of those one-lander hands, right? I think this one's good enough to keep, but still debatable. Goblin God, you've not been good to us tonight, friend. Tarfire, sure. Suspend Riftbolt? I feel like we're supposed to suspend Riftbolt here. Yeah, if our opponent wants to play Dreadhorde Arcanist, it's just gonna die. Delver plus Burn Spell? Yep. Kind of funny, the first couple of games they show us like basically very little removal, and then this game all of a sudden they just like unload Burn Spell plus Burn Spell. Well, now we're left with a difficult decision. I think we go face this time. Path to Exile, not terrible. Interesting that they get rid of Tarfire. Interested in them having a really good weather the storm kind of turn. Feel like we're gonna get weather the stormed here. Just a feeling in my bones. Guess not. Delver's a thing. Where on earth is their hand? Bunch of burn spells? Hootie? Nope. Metamorphose. Okay. Startling entity? Yep. Once again, our opponent should probably be fetching before they're scrying, because I don't think the 1 point of life is going to particularly matter, but not screwing up your scry might. So we're just going to path this. Okay, they just auto-passed. Not a great situation for us to be in. Sure, hopefully they don't find... Yeah, Delvers, whatever. They weather the storm, we're in a lot of trouble, but it doesn't look like they do. So I don't think we're going to play Inspiring Vantage. We probably want it just in case we hit Searing Blaze. Delver did not flip. There's a Tarmogoyf. Fire off Bolt at the end of the turn here. See if they have like a... They could have Stubborn Denial in hand, I suppose. That's one of the cards they could be chilling on. Alright, apparently they're chilling on nothing. So... Searing Blaze. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So how's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully y'all are doing well. First night as a Twitch affiliate. Feels nice. Back to the basics with Burn here. Kind of a weird league so far against, what, Temur Delver and Dredge. Well, that's good, next surgeon. Glad you're doing well. Guess I'd like to be on the play. This hand's got a lot of bolts, but I don't think it's a keep. This hand's much more interesting to me. Guess we put back Skullcrack here. Let's grab the basic mountain here and minimize a little bit of the damage we take. Ha! I hate Shard Volley. Shard Volley is one of those cards that it's like, in certain things it was fine. Oh no, not Eldrazi. So am I more afraid of Chalice on one or something else coming down the line here? Especially from a... what the heck? We'll just attack first, see what they do. Oh, the advertisers are coming, I see. God bless America. Okay, had to take care of banning the bot. I'm not interested in bots hanging out in my channel, so... no bueno, go away. I don't like bots. Bots are not good. This looks like a chalice. Of course it is, because why wouldn't it be, right? So... let's get in some prowess damage here. Don't think we're in great shape by any means, but I suppose it could be worse for us. Thought not seer time. Yep. So we're gonna lose our Boros charm and like it. I guess we should have unloaded the, Getting Chaliced for 2. Oh, Walking Ballista. Tron and other mid-range types. Regular Tron or E-Tron? And what type of mid-range decks in particular? Blue-based or like Jund-esque based? Definitely want these in. The Eidolons can come out. Guess a couple of the blazes can come out. So, previous to Karn the Great Creator, if you wanted to beat both Burn and Tron, I would have said Ad Nauseam. But with Karn the Great Creator, I'm not sure how that matchup is anymore. This hand is terrible as well, but I think we have to keep it, or do we go to 5 here? I think we have to keep this hand, but it's not a fantastic feeling. Because you can beat Ad Nauseam to beat Jund with ley lines, but I don't know how current KTGC changes that matchup now. So, trying to think what other deck is good against that swath of decks. Yeah, that's kind of a weird one because of Ad Nauseam is a little bit weak to Jund. That's a really weird swath of decks for that to be the normal of the meta. Chalices are really getting us tonight. Stoneforge blue-white isn't favored against any of those decks, I don't think. KTGC. Like, I think it has close matchups against all those decks, but I don't know that it's favored in any of them. I would probably actually say, if you have access to the cards, this at least gives us the out of drawing Boros Charm to win. Lightning Helix, not great. Puts them to 1, and then we need to rip Spell into land, because they're going to start blowing up our lands this turn, which isn't ideal. Yes, I'd like to go get a basic mountain here. I guess Riftbolt would be our best draw. Stern Blaze is definitely not our best draw, and now we lose the game. Let's just go ahead and concede. This is sometimes a fairly miserable matchup anyway. Why is there so much Eldrazi Tron lately? Honestly, I'd say one of the snow piles, or one of the, yeah, basically an Uro pile tuned to beat Tron, because the Uro piles can beat both Burn and Jund fairly reasonably. So if you could tune an Uro pile to beat Tron, I think you'd be in a pretty good spot. Whether you'd want to play Wilderness Wreck or regular snow. So I'd like to play first. It's pretty good, especially on the play. I have a feeling this is going to get fatal pushed, but, you know. Either way, we just unload our hand. This could be Jund Shadow, could be just Jund of some kind, black-green rock. Did you really keep a hand with no... I was going to say, did you really keep a hand with no turn 1 play in Modern? Seems risky. If you have a fatal push, go figure. Feels like rock. Nope, just straight up Jund. Okay. Tarmogoose is loose. So I think I keep the Scalding Tarn in my hand to play around Liliana a little bit here. It'll feel really bad though if they drop like another Tarmo. Apparently they're stuck on 2 lands. Alright, well this should be fairly academic then, barring something amazing in their main deck. Cling to Dust? Now that's freaking annoying. Do you have a bolt? Jund playing main deck Cling to Dust. Alright, so Inquisition's mildly annoying here. So at least we know they're going to be stuck on 2 lands. Play Grimflare instead. Okay, I respect your modus operandi, opponent here. So, we saw something consistent with regular Jund, except Cling to Dust is a little weird. I feel like I'm interested in the relics. Searing Blaze could be less than ideal in this matchup. We probably want some number of paths. As far as how many, I don't know. Searing Blaze doesn't generally kill a lot of the things in Jund. Like, it's unlikely to kill Tarmogoyf unless we have Relic. It could possibly kill Grimflare, but they're likely only running 1 or 2. I think on the draw, I'm probably better off boarding out a couple Eidolons. Kind of submitting like this. Can we keep another 1-lander? I think it's worth a gamble. Hand's decent enough. Especially if we get to land the turn 1 relic. And our opponent's already mulliganed, so I'm a little more inclined to do the thing here. Oh wow, they're just going to discard spells. Sure. Okay. Probably this hand should have been a mulligan. Okay, I'm definitely getting more shadow vibes now. Especially with Mishra's Bauble and no Lurrus. Or do they have a Lurrus? Nope, that's just a Mishra's Bauble. Yeah, I'm definitely getting some Jun Shadow vibes now. I'm guessing Reed Duke's-esque list, something similar to what he was playing yesterday. So yeah, Relic's actually really good against this deck. And Searing Blaze is basically completely useless. That Cling to Dust is what threw me off. What I was like, this feels like a collective brutality. We just have to bolt them, otherwise we have like no plays for the next several turns. Probably take Boros Charm here. I guess Skewer also might make sense. Land, please. Alright, I guess we're playing Lava Spike. Another Collective Brutality? Traverse the Evenwald for a shadow. Goblin God's a little awkward here. Definitely don't want to attack, make their shadow bigger. Dismember. Ouchie. Alright, got the one lander, never drew another land. Seems about appropriate. I think I'm much more inclined to want the Eidolons on the play. Another one of those hands, man. I still think this hand's much more keepable. Kind of sucks against a collective brutality, but can't really play around that anyway. Land, please. Alright, guess another Swiss beer will do. I do have lands on my deck, right? Like I know I've kept a few one-landers, but it does sometimes make me wonder if I have lands in my deck. Brutality or Termaglyph? Termaglyph, sure. Kolaghan's Command? Fulminator Mage. Yeah, I'm thinking more than Eek. I'm definitely thinking more than Eek. Most likely. Depends on if they have another threat. Or TBR. They definitely have the other threat. Yeah, Broken Shuffler is definitely still a meme. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I certainly should have possibly considered mulliganing more aggressively defined lands. That said, I wasn't necessarily expecting Fulminator Mage to come in against me. Maybe I should have. But I think even with... if they didn't have the Fulminator, even if they just had the other progression of cards that they had, I think that we probably win that match. So I still stand by keeping that hand, but... and then you have this, where you draw 5 lands against what's most likely Hyashi red. Oh lordy. So we're either up against... we're on the draw, right? I think we keep this hand on the draw. So we're either up against Hyashi red or we're up against Tron. I'm not sure which yet. Okay, we're up against Hyashi red. Opponent's on a 1-land spectacle hand. There's a Lutz. So we weren't the only one that kept a speculative hand this time around. Good to know. Looks like they're finally drawing out of it. Swift Spear in the cast, light up the stage. Bolt and Swift Spear. It's going to be a rough turn next turn. Do this. Fetch basic mountain. Do this. Decent chance we're dead next turn. Goes to 10, takes 6. Know they have Burst Lightning and Bolt here. So Bolt the face. It's 5. I don't think that's actually lethal. No, it's not. Okay. See, if they do Burst Lightning, please attack with both. Please attack. Nope. Okay. Alright, so we were able to steal game 1 here, which is kind of huge. stealing game 1 is definitely huge. Cause... Alright, so let's take a look at Hyashi Burn. Mr. Coil Weird. Not too many cards playing that. Or, yeah. Relics, Abrades, Blood Moons, Cosmic Returns. And... Yep. So... We're definitely interested in the Firewalkers. Burst, Firebolt, Lava Dart, Lightning Bolt, light up the stage. So I don't see any Dragon's Claws out of these decks. Would they bring in Blood Moon against us? Maybe? So maybe just minimize Blood Moon by boarding out Boros Charms, I guess. I don't know. Haven't actually played against Hyashi Burn in some time, so... Can't keep his hand. So I think I pitch idle on here. Bolt was actually a pretty good draw here. Lava Dirt, sure. Could play Firewalker, but I think I'm much more interested in just killing their stupid Swizzle Spear here. Yep. Hey, I bet. Do they have a third land? They do not. This seems a bit counterintuitive here, but if they have Kozilek's Return, I really want to bait it out before I play the Core Firewalker here. Sure. Again, don't really want to play into Kozilek's Return if we can prevent it. Other Bone Crusher Giant, sure. They have it, they have it. Well played. If not, I think we're getting really close to GG here. Again, they're sitting on a Kozilek's Return. They have played this game like a master, but I don't see it. Alright, quick wrap up with this league. So I think my only real takeaway from this league is probably always just want to run 20 lands. Sounds so stupid, but I think I die more games from one-landers than just about anything else in Modern. It's kind of freaking crazy, honestly. Like how many games I lose due to one-landers with Burn. Beyond that, I kind of like a lot of what this list is doing. I understand Relic isn't good against Dredge, but Relic has a lot more relevancy in a lot of other matchups that I'm interested in, like Tarmogoyf matchups, like Uro matchups, etc. So I think I'm willing to give Relic a pass this league, and then the rest of the deck I don't really have comments on yet. I think I'm going to have to run back another league or two with Burn before I have comments on regular Burn versus Incinerator Burn. But, I mean, the moral of the story is a lot of times I keep one-laners and get punished for it. It definitely felt like, especially against Jund Shadow, that I should have drawn out at some point, but that just didn't happen, so. Anywho, been a long day at work, so I'm going to call it a night after one league, unfortunately, but I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Well, that's sweet, man. My only thought process, was I got stuck on one land too much, so I'm always kind of partial to 20 landers. But the lists seem fine and functional. Rough games against Dredge and E-Tron, but that's kind of to be expected when you sign up and play Burn. The swing match in this league between us going 2-3 and 3-2 was Jund Shadow, and I kept 1 landers in both games 2 and game 3 and never drew a second land. And then in game number 3, not only did I not draw a second land, but I got Fulminator Maged on Sacred Foundry. So, otherwise, we would have probably won that game despite being stuck on 1 land. So your list does seem really solid. We ran into a couple of rough matchups and got chaliced on 1 and got stuck on 1 land. So yeah, Lurrus was neither really one way or the other. I've liked Lurrus in some grindy matchups, sometimes even burn mirrors, sometimes. But I mean, the only time the 4 Firewalker was relevant was against you. So, but the rest of our matchups were kind of like, eh. Like, we beat you and we beat, what was the other matchup we won? Temur Delver, and then we lost to Dredge and E-Tron, and then the swing matchup was Jund Shadow, and I think we should have won that one if I had either mulliganed a bit more aggressively, or if we, don't get Fulminator Maged or draw a second land. So a lot of different things could have happened. It's kind of absurd that you don't draw a second land over like 10 or 11 turns over the second and third games. But, that's on me for not being more disciplined in mulliganing, just because I have reasonable to good hands. So, anywho, thanks for checking in, more Sith. Or more Sith. So, yeah, that's the thing with, like, burn sideboards and everything. I don't really like hedging that hard unless I really know what I'm going to run into. I usually probably stick to 2 to 3 Firewalkers. And against you, the only card I was playing around was Kozilek's Return if you're on Hyashi's build. And if you're not even running Kozilek's Return, then I was just like playing super cautiously for no reason. But I figured it was better to play around the card that could blow me out and actually get you back into the game. But, yeah, that's kind of what I figured. That's because I actually slow rolled. I had a core Firewalker that I could have dropped onto, but against Prowess in Hyashi's build, regardless of how you feel about it, is basically a Prowess deck. I always prioritize trying to keep the board clear if I can against Prowess. So I was actually prioritizing removing your creatures, and I actually top decked the Bolt with my first draw step. Otherwise, that first turn was just going to be like either Goblin Guide or Swift Spear, and that really plays into your game plan game 2. So I'm kind of glad I top decked the Bolt. I got lucky there, but I had the mana for the core Firewalker and the Firewalker, so I think I would have been in reasonable shape. But I was just commenting like throughout that match or that game, like if he's playing with Kozilek's Return like that patiently, I mean, he's a master. So if I wouldn't have got started late tonight, I would have done a second league. But tell you, it was a really rough night at work. I think I ended up working till like 10:30. Yeah, it was just a rough night. So, but did want to get streaming tonight. And thanks, more Sith, for the follow. I greatly appreciate that. And I will be live tomorrow night. I'm going to probably work on Burn most of this week. So, Burn or Burn variants. I played around with some other stuff last week. I'm going to get back to the bread and butter this week. So, see how that does. But thanks for hanging out, more Sith. Appreciate the matchup. Red mirrors are always fun. But, alright, thanks. Everybody have a good night. This has been John for MTG Nexus.